Are you proud of your Filipino supernatural heritage? Then wear it for the world to see. Visit our merchandise page at www.cafepress.com, keyword Pamanimation and Aswang. Like eyes, paintings are said to be a window to the soul, the artist's soul to be exact. Realistic or abstract, we are given a view into the artist's mind, where he or she takes us through a vision by use of pigment, brushstroke, and rendering to create an image unique to its creator. No line, shade, or color is misplaced or accidental. Every nuance is planned or unintentionally intended, for each masterpiece is unique unto itself and can never be recreated the same exact way twice. Paintings are everywhere in society, seen hanging on walls inside homes, offices, or museums, and even on the sides of buildings. But are they truly just pigment on canvas or paper? Or are they something more? Perhaps a mirror, or even a window to another world? Can the subject matter on the surface actually be alive and conscious? If so, are they staring back at you? And what are they thinking? In the all-girls college my mom used to attend, it was said to never be alone on the second story during the Angelus, with the entire school pauses for prayer at 6 p.m. It was also a time when students came downstairs to have dinner, leaving the entire second floor empty of people. Why the precaution? Because it was believed that was when the spirits of the floor came out. Don't look behind. But young Mylene was much too concerned about finishing her homework, so much so that she decided to work through the dinner hour and stay upstairs. She didn't even notice how empty the central study area was when all her classmates filed down to eat. All she saw were the open books and notepads around her. It was a spacious area full of chairs and tables, and a giant painting on the far side. The life-size painting had been there for decades and showed a woman dressed in provincial clothing standing in front of a rice field. From the colors and brushstrokes alone, it was a classic piece, created in a different place, in a distant time. Mylene took a deep breath and finally looked up from her books. She was willing to forego her dinner just to get her assignment done, and every free increment of time meant finishing it even sooner. For a brief moment, she noticed how unusual it was to have the entire study area to herself. It was normally bustling with students going about their business and was seldom empty. The peace and quiet was quite refreshing. She noted the time on the clock on the wall, saw that there was still a bit of time before her classmates came up, then resumed to finishing her homework. Mylene looked up the moment she heard a noise behind her. She turned around and saw no one there. Would you like to play? Nothing had fallen. Nothing was certainly out of place. She thought for a moment, then determined it was just her imagination. The only thing behind her was the painting of the rural woman looking back in the dim light. With her nose buried in her books, she suddenly slammed it shut when she heard another noise behind her. "Is someone there?" she said, projecting her voice. "Can I help you?" But the room was empty. "Whoever you are, this is not funny. I need to finish my homework. Make the noise again, and I'll call the nuns over to find you." As before, the only thing staring back was the woman in the painting, across the room. She scrutinized the shadows behind her, then turned her attention back to her book. A quick glance at the clock showed valuable time wasted from the distraction. Mylene heard a louder sound, causing her to fumble the book from her hands. She wheeled around to confront the practical joker, but suddenly froze where she stood.
I told you not to come.
There was a figure staring back at her, its arms outstretched, and with a devilish grin as if it meant to do her harm. It was the woman in the painting, still dressed in her rural clothing, but now standing in front of the picture frame as if it walked out of the painting itself. The woman was no longer brushstrokes and pigment, but flesh and blood, and it was floating towards Mylene, feet high above the ground, and moving to attack.
Now it's too late.
Mylene dropped her book and staggered back over the chairs, unable to believe what she was seeing. She stared directly into the eyes of the approaching woman and saw the malevolence behind her twisted grin. Mylene screamed and wheeled around, sprinting towards the stairs across the room. Just as she reached the steps, she turned to look a final time and saw the woman was still in pursuit. In her panic to run, she lost her footing and fell awkwardly down the steps, reaching the bottom in a crumpled heap. Her classmates saw her at the base of the stairs and immediately went to her aid. A group of nuns, teachers, and students ran up to the second floor to see who could have done this, but found the area empty. All that was there were some tumbled chairs, open books, and a solitary painting of a woman dressed in provincial clothes standing in front of a rice field. The rest of the floor was empty. Mylene was said to have been taken to a mental ward, driven mad from her experience, while the painting was secretly spirited away and hidden from view. Its whereabouts to this day is unknown. Nowadays, the second floor remains empty during the dinner hour, for no student dares tempt fate to be there alone when the spirits walk about. If you're enjoying the content that we've provided, please show your support. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Would you like to learn more about the Asian and Pacific Islanders supernatural? Then please pick up Alex Pauman's books, Filipino Ghost Stories from Tuttle Publishing, and Asian Supernatural, including Hawaii and the Pacific, from Mutual Publishing. Both are available from their respective publishers or from Amazon.com.